Hello there, all my beautiful thinking people. Welcome back to Advocation X and your host, Clyde. Yeah, once again, it's time for a dreadful news broadcast. Before I begin, please hit the like button, subscribe, become a member, smash that bell. Don't miss anything going forward. So what I'm going to discuss today is the world chaotic situation going on in the eastern part of the world. Let's dive into that right now. It's a very, very touchy subject. And why? Because, like I told you in my last video, I have friends on both sides. So therefore, I'm not hating against either side. But what I can say is it's getting incredibly obvious and evident that Mr. Putin is not winning this war. Far superior when it comes to his firepower and the numbers of boots on the ground that he can put out. He should have won this war decisively and quickly. However, there's the war of public opinion that's been going on all across the world now. Everybody now is taking up sides against Mr. Putin. Do I agree with that? Politically, I think not. As far as stopping or slowing the war, I think not. I think what's going on now is probably the worst outcome we could possibly obtain. When I say that, what do I mean? Take a look. This is beautiful. And someone says this is their land. Once they say this is their land, you have to respect it and do certain things that will not infringe upon the rights that they have on their land. So, invading what we would call a sovereign nation, I believe, is not a winnable circumstance. That puts Mr. Putin in a really bad light. However, is there really any claim to this land? I don't think so. But let me say this. My land, your land, I don't really care what we call it. It's still common land. And the common law of the land would say that we all need to respect it, regardless of who lays claim to it. But what's going on in the political realm right now is quite obvious. Every country that possibly could is turning their back on Mr. Putin. We have Eritrea, we have Belarus, not much else that basically sides with Putin. And I'm not trying to say that I side against Putin. When it comes to invading a country of any kind by anyone, I can't condone those actions. If you are going to invade a country, there should be some real evidence that the people of that country are being oppressed in a way that the people themselves cannot liberate themselves, like in China or Canadish or whatever you want to call it. The government was subverting the people's will. The government was going against their own constitution. They were creating crimes against humanity. They were not following common law. They were not following any Bill of Rights or Constitution. They were unilaterally taking over the lives of their people. Now, if Russia had invaded Canada to liberate its people from the tyranny of you-know-who, well, I would kind of support that. Kind of. Still, you shouldn't trample on sovereign soil without going through and exhausting all other means of resolution. We have Germany, who was reliant on this new pipeline coming through for gas, and they gave that up. That shows a real vote against Putin. They gave that up. They went with a possible shortage of 40% of their fuel supplies in a time of the year when they need it, in order to join and oppose Putin. Let me tell you in my world what that means to Putin. And try to understand, folks. Don't just look at it from being a couch jockey, I guess you could say. Try not to be a couch jockey and sit there and try to judge from your own vantage point of sitting on your couch. Let's try this vantage point. Look from outside the situation and try to look in to see what exactly is going on here. And you'd have to look and say, wait a second. Wait a second. Well, over here we have people who are fighting over a certain portion of the world, saying we need to do something here. We have Germany, we have England, we have America, we have Canada, we have all of these places slapping sanctions on this one side. The one side. And of course, nothing on that side. Why? Because they're just defending that little piece of land that they laid claim to, and they're trying to take that piece of land from them. So everybody naturally runs to the side of take everything away from this guy because he's the bad guy. You might be right. And if you're right, and you've chosen the right side in history, did you exhaust all efforts? Did you do everything possible? These sanctions are crippling a country who was already crippled. I'm putting myself in Putin's place, and I'm going to say, okay, well, what do we have left to lose? Belarus, Eritrea, and one other little country? So basically, we're saying we have nothing to lose right now. We must accomplish our goal. So stubbornly, as Putin, I may be ready to go all the way. And I mean all the way. I would allow my countrymen to leave if they wished, and those who wish to remain and fight, I would probably fight to the death. Because now I have nothing left to lose. Nothing. And guess what? If I perish, so do you. Why would you push me to that point? I am now ready to give it all up. I don't care anymore. You need to give me something to care about. Otherwise, you might be in big trouble. So now let me look at it from the side of Zelensky. He's accused of being a Nazi. Well, I mean, his shirt had a Nazi symbol on it, apparently, allegedly. Nobody trying to get sued, you know what I mean? And apparently there are other factions of his country, military, who feel the same way as that flag. There are also reports of discrimination and harassment and actual physical harm coming to foreigners going to school in the country. But I deny these things. I deny them, maybe because they're not true. Maybe because they're true. I'm not sure. I can't get into him that far. But what I can do is say this. He laid claim to a piece of land not very long ago. Based on the history, it was basically just a breakup of good fellows. Those who had been chums and buddies all the way along now broke up and decided to break up an entire area, and now it's coming to a head. So I've got to think about this. These people have now come behind me to follow me, and they're looking to me for leadership. Do I just back down and let Putin come in and take over the entire country? Are my people going to be happy with me there? Do I tell the truth about everything in the past and say, listen, we need to discuss this stuff? Which again is a small betrayal of my people. Or do I just decide, let's stand tall. Let's fight this out. Let's make sure that nobody ever decides to try to come after us again. Let's fight. Do I have the resolve to fight to the death? Maybe I do. Maybe I feel like I have nothing left to lose either. Maybe I feel like, you know what? I've never had any real good standing. No real good protection. I've been fighting all the way along just to keep this little boundary and keep us all safe. What do? I have to fight to the death. I have no choice. Is anyone else in the world even giving that any consideration? That these two could end up taking both their countries into oblivion? Folks, we need to encourage solutions. And I mean really encourage solutions. There needs to be a ton of diplomacy going on out there. There needs to be a ceasefire in the rhetoric. The rhetoric that paints each side as being this horrible, terrible regime, which they may be. That's not for me to judge. They have their own ways of running their countries. If they're abusing their citizens in a way that should be intervened in, then I support intervention. And you could say, yeah, but who are you to decide what is necessary, would require intervention? And I'll tell you, if the people themselves are being stifled to the point where their lives are being snuffed out, their livelihood is taken away without any just cause, where they are being suppressed for no good reason other than political expediency, like happened in China, in the Ottawa, what they call terrorist siege of the city. Wow. Like seriously, this is when other countries need to intervene and say, I'm sorry, you cannot treat your own citizens like that. If foreign boots came on the ground and started that sort of a movement, and they were just trying to do it for the benefit of another nation, I agree, snuff it out. There's no evidence of that here. What's going on in the eastern part of the world could be a danger to you sitting on your couch being a couch jockey, saying, oh, well, you know, Putin's wrong. He needs to tear him down, rip his country apart. Do you realize that there are men, women, and children all over that country that are counting on you not to be that type of a couch jockey? Oh, okay, maybe you're right. All right, then let's smite Zelensky. Let's stop Ukraine in their tracks. Let's make sure that they can no longer ever... Do you realize there are men, women, and children there who have nothing to do with the decisions being made at the top and are trying their best just to live their lives? Let's find a different solution that doesn't wreck the lives of all the men, women, and children in either country and in all the rest of the countries around the world, which are all going to suffer because of this event. We seriously need to find a better solution. And the rumors, there will always be rumors. Don't let those rumors cloud your judgment. It's just like Freedom Convoy here in China, and people saying, oh, well, Freedom Convoy is not important anymore. We have to pay all of our attention to the results in the East. Well, no, don't do that. Your freedom here can be circumvented while you're paying attention over there. You need to be able to divide your attention. Take a look at the laws that are trying to be passed in China right now and see if you're in agreement with them. I believe that any laws being changed or passed in anybody's country should have to go through the people first and get opinions of what the people would like to see or not see, what they would like included or not included. I think that also includes boundaries that maybe should not be set or definitely need to be set. This needs to go through public opinion before it goes to the Parliament or the Senate to be decided. Who are they to decide for us in realms that we have not even touched on or thought about or decided upon in ourselves? We don't even have a discussion going on amongst the people. This kind of world has to stop. We can no longer be governed by people who do not have our best interest at heart. We need to take control of our lives. We need to know what's going on around us. People, dig deep. You are my beautiful thinking people, and we don't give up. And we don't give in. But we do keep an open mind because that's how we gather knowledge. And the only way to make proper decisions is to be knowledgeable. So folks, stay safe, stay healthy, and above all else, stay as happy as humanly possible.